Hey, what is up, my history nerds and chaos crew? Hey, besties! Welcome back to the channel where we serve history with a side of savage. So, get this. You think influencer scams are bad now? Honey, let me take you back to the 2nd century AD, where one dude basically conned the entire Roman Empire with, wait for it, a talking snake puppet. Yes, you heard me. A literal snake puppet. Like a Build-A-Bear but slippery, and people worshipped it. For years, people called it God. Today we're spilling the tea on the messiest scam in ancient Rome, the Cult of Glycon. We're unmasking the OG scam artist Alexander of Abonoteichus and his truly bizarre, unhinged Cult of Glycon. Picture this, a con man, a snake puppet, and a whole empire eating it up like it's the finale of Real Housewives of Rome. Grab your glitter pens, cause this is gonna be iconic. Anyway, welcome to today's episode of The Past Was Actually Crazier Than the Internet. Let's talk about the Cult of Glycon, aka the ancient world's most unhinged puppet show. Time code 00133. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe for the juiciest historical tea. Okay, so let's set the stage. It's the 2nd century AD, we're talking around 160 AD, and Rome is at the height of its power. Emperor Marcus Aurelius is on the throne. Yeah, the meditations guy, the serious philosopher emperor. You'd think people would be all enlightened, right? Well, Rome is still doing empire things, conquering, building roads, suppressing uprisings, you know, casual colonizer energy. The Roman Empire is a massive melting pot of cultures, religions, and philosophies. But spiritually, they're kinda going through it. People were super into mystery cults back then. Like, come join our vibes-only religious club, we've got secret rituals and probably drugs. If it was exclusive and promised you something amazing, people were lining up. They were obsessed with gods who promised healing, eternal life, or like any hope at all. It was a time of great anxiety, actually. Plagues were sweeping through. Sound familiar? Wars were on the frontiers, and everyday life could be pretty brutal. So, picture the scene. Roman Empire, everyone's stressed, looking for answers. They wanted reassurance, a bit of magic, something to believe in that wasn't just, well, hope a barbarian doesn't sack your village this week. It's the perfect time for a charismatic con artist like Alexander to make his move. It's the perfect storm, really. And into this scene of spiritual searching and general chaos steps our leading man, or rather our leading con man, Alexander of Abonoteichus. Yes, that's a real name. And yes, we're gonna drag him. Let's meet the shady star of our show, Alexander of Abonoteichus. This guy wasn't just some random dude. Ancient sources say he was seriously handsome. Like, remarkably beautiful was the phrase used. He was super smart, incredibly charismatic, and had a voice like butter. Basically, the whole package for a master manipulator. The kind of guy who could sell you a used chariot with 3 wheels and you'd thank him for the breeze. Now, Alexander is from this town called Abonoteichus in modern-day Turkey. And honestly, he was not born a prophet. His early resume, let's just say it involved making rich older dudes happy. Yeah, some sources suggest he worked as a male prostitute in his youth. No judgment on the hustle, but it definitely shows he knew how to work people from a young age. He was allegedly a glow-up child actor turned magician's assistant turned snake cult daddy. This guy was serving scammer supreme vibes like the Roman equivalent of a crypto bro pushing NFTs. He started as a kid hustling in the streets, then he teamed up with a public physician who also dabbled in the, esoteric arts. And after that, he partnered with another dude named Kokonas from Byzantium. They basically went on a tour of selling fake magic and healing charms like the OG MLM girlies. He traveled with this traveling scam wizard and basically learned how to do fake miracles. He joined a sketchy medicine show, peddling potions like he was on Shark Tank Toga edition. They were like the ancient Penn and Teller, but if both of them were trying to scam you. Then the wizard Kokonas died, so Alexander did what any reasonable man would do. Faked a miracle, created a god, and built an empire on vibes and snake puppetry. Goals. He was like, prophecy is my passion, big career change. Or more accurately, he decided to level up his con game. He decided his sleepy hometown of Abonoteichus needed a spiritual glow-up. He knew the people there. Lucian, our primary source and resident ancient world SAS master, described the Paphlagonians of the region as somewhat gullible and superstitious. Thick-headed idiots was Lucian's charming phrase. Alexander probably thought, perfect audience. So Alexander shows back up in his hometown one day like, hey besties, I've had a vision. A new god is being born here. He announces that Asclepius, the god of medicine, was about to honor the town with the birth of a new divine being. The hype was real. To build anticipation, he buries some bronze tablets in the old temple of Asclepius, claiming the god Asclepius and his dad Apollo were gonna chill there and that a new god was about to be born. He arranged for these tablets to be found, creating a buzz. Oh my gods, guys, did you see the sacred tablets? Something amazing is coming! Then, dramatic reveal time! The egg incident, aka how he launched a cult. He dramatically digs up a giant goose egg in the marketplace, or, some sources say in the foundations of the new temple he was conveniently inspiring them to build. Yes, a literal egg, from the dirt, in public. He wades into a construction site, finds a pre-planted goose egg, cracks it open, and boom, a tiny snake. Behold, the divine offspring. The crowd, probably very confused but also very intrigued, totally loses it. Plot twist, he planted the egg earlier. He'd found a large goose egg, carefully emptied it, put a baby snake inside, and sealed it up with wax and white lead. It's giving magician in Vegas energy. He paraded this tiny snakelet around in his hand, and people were clamoring to see it. Fast forward a few days, he invites everyone to come meet the now fully grown snake god. A few days later, in a super dimly lit room, very important for mood lighting and hiding the dodgy props, probably smelling strongly of whatever passed for ancient Febreze, heavy incense for sure, Alexander presents the grown-up god, Glycon, and girl, this is where it gets unhinged. So, people roll up to the temple, right? And there's this huge snake just chilling, only it's got a human face. And Glycon, bless its cotton socks, was a puppet. We're talking a large tame snake. Probably a very chill boa constrictor type he'd bought from Macedonia, chosen for its size and gentle nature, with this totally fake human-looking head made of painted linen, complete with flowing blonde hair, and some say, long fair human hair fixed to the scalp of the puppet head, and a mouth that moved with horsehair strings. Like, long hair, fake lashes energy, very much giving wig on a worm. Alexander would cuddle the real snake's head under his armpit, or nestled in his robes, completely hidden from view, and then just operate the puppet part that emerged from the coils of the snake's body. The commitment! He even had a little mechanism for a forked black tongue to dart in and out, also operated by horsehair. He'd sit there in a dimly lit room on a high couch, this majestic serpent coiled around him, its human head nodding sagely or speaking in muffled tones, which Alexander would, of course, interpret. And somehow everyone was like, yes, this is clearly a divine being. Take my money. No shade, but if I saw a snake with a human face, I'd call animal control, not build it a temple. But the Paphlagonians, according to Lucian, were so excited and overwhelmed by the spectacle, the dim lights, the incense, the build-up, that they didn't question it. They just saw a massive, impressive serpent with this strangely lifelike head and thought, it's a miracle. And how did this god communicate? Through Alexander, of course, for a small fee. This is where the real money started rolling in. He set up an oracle service. People would write down their questions on sealed scrolls like super important life questions, medical queries, financial advice, who to marry, all of it. They'd submit their sealed scroll along with the standard fee 1 drachma and 2 obols. Not cheap for the time. Alexander would then consult Glycon in private. Surprise, surprise, he had ways of unsealing them, reading the questions, and then sealing them back up like nothing happened. Lucian tells us he had a whole toolkit, heated needles to soften the wax, special molds to recreate the seal impressions, dummy seals. He'd read the question, craft an answer, write it inside, reseal it perfectly, and then present it back to the eager questioner, often with great ceremony, as if Glycon himself had dictated it. His favorite trick if he didn't know the answer or if the question was too dangerous or complicated. Just give a completely bonkers, unintelligible response, like flabbergasted by wobble snatch or something. One example Lucian gives of a deliberately obscure answer was Sabardalachu malachate alosen, which is ancient Greek for elol idike, good luck. Profound! Or the oracle would give a super vague, ambiguous answer that could be interpreted a million different ways, so he was never wrong. If it didn't pan out, it was your fault for misinterpreting the divine wisdom, obviously. He also offered autophones, oracles nobody asked for, which usually involved Glycon spontaneously shouting out a prophecy or a command. And wouldn't you know it, these autophones often involved Glycon demanding more offerings, more sacrifices, or instructing someone to fund a new part of the temple. Convenient. He had other tricks too. To make himself seem divinely inspired or possessed, Alexander would sometimes choose soapwort root, which would make him foam at the mouth impressively. He'd also handle the snakes. He had several, not just the main Glycon, with apparent fearlessness, which added to his mystique, as snakes were often feared or seen as chthonic underworld beings. Let's spill how Alexander pulled this off, 'cause it's low-key iconic in its audacity. He used a big snake puppet with a human head, moving its mouth with strings like he's auditioning for Sesame Street. Puppet goals or scam goals? You decide. And the services offered were extensive. He claimed Glycon could find fugitive slaves, detect thieves and robbers, cause treasures to be dug up, heal the sick, and in some cases actually raise the dead. Though, details on those resuscitations are a bit sketchy. He was particularly famous for his medical advice, claiming to be channeling Asclepius, the god of healing. This was huge, as health anxiety was constant. He even staged this whole divine birth ceremony every year, a 3-day festival. This was part of the mysteries he instituted, modelled loosely on the very famous and respected Eleusinian mysteries. It was all about initiation, secret rites, and a big public spectacle. The drama of Coachella and the vibes of a Renaissance Fair cult edition. There were mystery rituals, snakes, chanting. The second day was the big one, the theatrical birth of Glycon from the egg. Imagine the special effects. Probably just him under a blanket making squawking noises and then, ta-da, a slightly larger puppet than last year. And on day 3, this is where it gets extra spicy. Alexander, in a grand finale, would enact the sacred marriage, the Hieros Gamos. He pretended to have sex with the moon goddess Selene, like there was a woman, or Alexander himself in drag. Sources vary, and Lucian is, of course, hilariously scathing about it. Suspended from the ceiling dressed as Selene, and they fake made out in front of everyone while holding torches. The theatres today could never. Oh, and this whole time, Alexander was out here marrying off his daughter, who he claimed was literally fathered by the moon god himself, through the divine intervention of Glycon, or possibly Alexander in a moon costume, who knows? So, yes, this man made up a god and a divine baby mama for his kid. I need this level of confidence. He married this daughter to a very prominent Roman official, Publius Mummius Sisenna Rutilianus, the governor of Asia. Talk about marrying up and securing protection. So yeah, Alexander's out here marrying his daughter off to the Roman equivalent of a sugar daddy, while claiming she's literally a moon baby. And people still eating it up, like it's ancient Love Island with divinity cosplay. And believe it or not, it worked. His Cult of Glycon wasn't some little backwater thing, it spread all over Asia Minor and the Balkans. People were building temples, commissioning statues, and even minting coins with Glycon's face on it. Rome said, "Go off, king." He even went global, okay, Roman global. A giant marble statue of Glycon was found in modern-day Romania, in the city of Tomis, like 16 feet long. That's a commitment to the bit. Imagine being so dedicated to your puppet scam that your fake snake god ends up with a full-blown sculpture. I mean, goals? So, what happened to Alexander? Well, despite claiming he'd lived to the age of 150, he, died in his 70s from a random infection, like gangrene. Not a sexy prophet death, I'm sorry, but imagine creating a cult around a divine healing serpent, and then you die from an infected wound. The irony is, honestly, chef's kiss. Glycon, babe, where were you when your main guy needed you? But even after Alexander kicked the olive oil-slicked bucket, Glycon's cult actually stuck around for a while. People kept worshipping this fabulous noodle god for like a whole century after. It wasn't until Christianity started rolling deep with Constantine that the Glycon fan club got shut down. But plot twist, that wasn't the end. Enter Alan Moore. Yep, the guy behind Watchmen and V for Vendetta. Big Glycon stan, like modern-day worshipper. He has a literal snake puppet altar. According to Moore, Glycon is the perfect god because he knows he's fake. He's the ultimate commentary on belief. Kind of a serve, honestly. Honestly, kind of a serve. So what's the moral of the story? That people in togas were not smarter than us. They were out here Venmoing their life savings to a guy doing a ventriloquist act with a snake in a wig. And today we're not worshipping snake puppets, but, I mean, there's definitely influencers with worse track records and more followers. So the next time someone calls your favorite hobby dumb, just remember, an entire empire once worshipped a talking Muppet. And honestly, iconic. Stay sassy, stay skeptical, and never trust a prophet who uses horsehair. Love ya, bye.